friends. Today I'm going to show you how to paint your mandala color wheel, which is, I think, pretty cool. So if you're watching this video, you should have already done your mandala drawing, which is just the black lines on this. That's this minus the color. So you should have already watched that video and done your drawing before you can paint it. So if you haven't done that, you're not quite ready for this. But those of you who have your 12 section mandala drawn, which means it has 12 of these little sections, and it has your design, then you're ready to start painting, which is what this video is about. So let's get going.
So the first thing you need to do is you need to mark your different sections with your primary and secondary colors in color order. So I'm just going to put a letter for each color, but I'm going to skip a section between each of them. So red, space, orange, space, yellow, space, green, space, blue, space, purple. So that way they go in color order all the way around, and there's an empty triangular section between each one. Then you're just going to squeeze out these colors into your paint palette so that you have all of your colors ready to start painting. Right, now you're going to start with red, so you're going to find the section that you marked with an R for red, and you're just going to take your red paint and paint a couple of the little shapes in that section. So I'm just going to pick a couple shapes in that section that aren't next to each other, and then I'm going to paint them each red. Remember, you need to stay within your red section, so between those two lines that go from the middle point. So just go ahead and paint a few of those spots neatly, and the paint won't completely cover up your pencil mark. So once you've started painting in your red section, you can go ahead and erase your red pencil mark, because now you know that section is going to be red because it has red paint in it. You don't really need your mark anymore. So I'm just going to paint maybe like 3 different spots in the red section. Alright, so now you need to wash your brush, dry your brush, and you're going to move to orange. So you're going to leave an empty section between the red and the orange, and you're going to move over to the section you marked O with orange. And you're going to take your orange paint, and you're going to paint the same spots in that section. Remember, you need to erase your O, because now you know that section is going to be orange. So any spot that you painted red in the section that had the red paint in it, you're going to paint that same shape orange in your orange area. So you just kind of want to make those two pieces match. Alright, so now you're just going to wash your brush and dry your brush again and move over to the yellow section. And just continue this process all the way around with all 6 of your colors, leaving an empty area between each of them. And when you get all done, you should have all of your regular primary and secondary colors in their assigned area in the same 3 or 4 shapes in that area. So go ahead and do that. Alright, so now we're ready to start our tints, which are the lighter version. So you're just going to add white paint to each of your colors, and you're just going to add about as much white paint as there's already color in each of those sections. So in your palette, just squeeze some white into each of your colors. Now just mix your white with each of your colors, so you should get a lighter version of that color. So instead of regular red, you're going to have light red. Instead of regular orange, you're going to have light orange, all the way around. And make sure to wash your brush between each color so you don't mix all your colors together. Alright, so now you're ready to start painting your tints. So I'm going to start with my red, just like I did with the regular color, and I'm going to take my red tint, that's my light red, and I'm going to just fill in a couple more of those little shapes inside my design in the red section. So again, just like with your regular red, you don't want your light red shapes to touch each other. So just pick a couple different spots to paint your light red inside of that regular red, or inside of that red triangular section on your mandala. Alright, now just like before, you're going to wash your brush and move to orange. And again, you're going to paint your orange tints in the same little shapes of your design where you painted your red ones. So just like you did with your regular orange, your regular red, and all of your regular hues, you're going to paint your tints in the same spots in each of their corresponding color sections. So we're going to do that all the way around our color wheel mandala. All right, now you're ready for your shades. So you're gonna have to wash out your palette and get your colors again, because you probably don't have enough space in them to do your shades and your tints all in one palette. So just like before, I'm just gonna squeeze out all of my 6 regular hues, that's my 3 primary and my 3 secondary colors, into my paint palette. You're gonna put black in the middle of your palette this time, because black is such a strong color. You don't want to put it directly into each of the colors. It might make it too dark. So you're just going to put it in the middle, and you're going to get a little teeny tiny dot of black on your brush, and you're going to swirl it around with each of your colors to make your color darker. Now, if you swirl some black around with your color and it doesn't seem to get that much darker, you can go back and get a little bit more black and add it to your color until you get it as dark as you need it. So go ahead and do that for each of your colors. And now that you have all of your shades, that's all of your dark colors, you're ready to start filling those in on your mandala. So you're going to take your red shade and you're going to start in that red section on your mandala, and there should just be a couple different little spots left that haven't been filled in with red paint in that area. So you're going to use your red shade to fill in those last couple spots. Alright, so I'm sure you can guess by now what the next step is. Just like we did with our regular hues and our tints, we're going to do the same thing with our shades. So you finished your red section, and now you're going to move to orange, and you're going to take your dark orange and put it in the same spots that you put your dark red. And you're just going to repeat this with each of your colors all the way around your mandala until all of your primary and secondary color sections are completely filled up. All right, so now that you're done with your primary and secondary colors, you're ready to start your tertiary colors, which is the color between each primary and secondary color. So this section right here is going to be red-orange. So in the middle of your palette, you're just going to pour some red, and you're going to pour some orange. And you want to get pretty much equal amounts poured into that middle section. And then you're just going to mix them up, and the color that you create should look not quite orange, not quite red, about halfway between the two. So go ahead and mix up your color. Now your red-orange is obviously going to go between red and orange. So you're just going to take this regular red-orange and you're going to paint it in the same shapes that you painted your regular red in the red section, your regular orange in the orange section. So, for example, that little tiny shape that's closest to the middle of my mandala is where I use my two regular colors, my regular red, my regular orange, and all the way around the mandala. Well, that's where I'm going to paint my regular red-orange in its little section. So I'm just going to match each of the shapes inside my red-orange section that have, that should just be the regular red-orange, not the tint with the white, not the shade with the dark, but just the regular red-orange that I just mixed up. So I'm going to fill in those little sections. All right, now you're ready to make your tint and your shade of your red-orange. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the red-orange you have left and you're going to scoop about half of it into a separate little spot so that your tint and your shade don't get mixed up. Now you're going to take that little section of red-orange and add white to it to make it lighter, to make a tint of red-orange. So you're going to mix that up and you should get a light red-orange. And then you're just going to take that tint, and anywhere that you painted a tint of red or a tint of orange, in your red-orange section, you're going to paint that light red-orange. So you're just going to make those sections match again. And once you're done painting your tint, you're ready to start your shade. So you wash your brush, and you're going to be adding black to what's left of just your regular red-orange. So don't add the black to that tint that you made. Make sure to add the black to the middle of your paint palette where the regular red-orange is. And I just went ahead and added a little teeny tiny drop of black right into it. If you're worried that you're going to add too much black, you could put black in a separate section on your palette and dip your brush into it and just get a little bit at a time like we did with our primary and secondary colors. It's kind of up to you. So just add a little bit of black, mix it all up to make your red-orange shade. And now, just like before with your primary and secondary colors, you're just going to take that shade of red-orange and you're going to paint it in the red-orange section on your mandala that still has some white areas to fill in. So you're just going to fill in those last couple areas with your shade. And those should be the same areas that have your shade in the red section and the same little spots that have the shades of orange in the orange section. So your red-orange piece of your mandala should match your red and your orange. The only difference is it's red-orange. It's not just red or just orange. Now, when you're done with your first tertiary color, your red-orange, you're going to have to wash your paint palette and dry it before you move to your next tertiary color. So just move around your mandala, doing each tertiary color the same way we did red-orange. So you're going to move to yellow-orange next, which just goes between yellow and orange. And you're just going to do the same way. You make your yellow-orange in the middle of your palette, and you just repeat this process all the way around. now you just need to wait for your mandala to dry, and you should wait at least a couple hours. So if you're doing this in art class at school, you need to go ahead and put it on the drying rack and wait till the next day, and then you've just got one more step.
All right, that's it. So you now have your 12 color mandala color wheel with your tints and shades, which is awesome because we just made a really cool work of art that combines a traditional style of art, which is the mandala, with color theory, which is something really important to art. So I hope you enjoyed this project and this video. Thanks, guys.